Kyle does not have Dorit's best interest at heart. What's good, everybody? Thank you all so much for clicking on the video. I really appreciate it. We are here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 15, episode 8. And the name of the episode is called Do You Remember? Sorry this review is late. I took a couple of notes on the episode, so we just gonna talk. I'm just gonna talk about what happened in the episode, and we can talk about how I feel about what happened. So the episode started off with where it ended last week, with Erika and Dorit's birthday dinner that Kyle is throwing. And Amanda had just told Dorit that she needs to be able to go to a dinner without being verbally accosted.
Girl.
Now, while we're talking about this dinner, I feel like the only reason why Kyle threw Erika and Dorit a dinner is because Bose celebrated them last year at her trip to St. Lucia. I cannot remember a time where Erika and Dorit had a birthday dinner or a celebration together or anything like that. I want to say, I remember Dorit having a party when she first joined the show and PK buying her that rose gold Bentley, but I don't remember. I know that Erika and Dorit's birthday are close together. I know that they're both cancers. I believe that they're both July cancers, but I cannot remember a time where their birthday was celebrated together. Amanda feels that she was accosted by Dorit, and she even pulled out her phone and read the definition of accosted. She said that it means to be approached or addressed boldly or aggressively, and that's what Dorit did. Dorit did not. Boldly, to me, would have been Dorit saying, "You've been talking shit about me and my marriage," or the way that I've, been going through my divorce. But she asked Amanda about it. It wasn't matter of fact. And it definitely wasn't aggressive. And Amanda keeps using the word aggressive. And the way that Amanda is describing it, you would have thought that Dorit pulled out a gun and said, "Bitch, you've been talking about my marriage. You've been talking about my marriage, bitch." But that's not what happened. Because Amanda is saying that she woke up every 30 minutes and the way that her body handled the conversation with Dorit was like a physiological threat.
Girl, stop.
I feel like Amanda is, and no shade, I just feel like that she's trying to play this white, fragile woman role, but we have not got that from you. We have not got that from you. And you seem, her disposition and, her energy just seems like this aggressive person. And I feel like that now she got called out on something that she wants to play towards her age. I do. I feel like she's playing towards her age and she's trying to play this innocent person. She said that Dorit could have came and asked her about it, but instead she came at her with pretty strong accusations and aggression. It wasn't an accusation. She asked her a question. I asked you, what did you say? And so now Amanda is saying that she kept going and she told her Dorit it was the anniversary of her son's death when all she did was agree with Kyle. So now we get to Kyle. And Kyle is saying that Tilly's Dorit had very strong words about PK, and Dorit is saying, "What words?" And she says, "I don't know, I don't remember." Well, shut the fuck up. Well, shut the fuck up. If you don't remember the words and you don't remember what I'm saying, then girl, shut the fuck up. And Kyle goes on to say that the things that Dorit is saying about PK are going to come back on him, and he may not like what you're saying.
Thank you.
Who cares? That's Dorit's business. Kyle wasn't there when Dorit met PK. She wasn't there when she took up with PK. And she wasn't there when she married him. Right? Dorit did all that without the help of Kyle. So she doesn't need Kyle to tell her how to handle her divorce. Then they go back and forth and Kyle is asking Dorit to let somebody else talk. No, I'm not going to let you tell me how to go through my divorce or what I can share. This is my marriage. This is my life. And this is my story, and you don't get to vote on how I choose to deal with my divorce. And most importantly for Dorit, this is her job. She gets paid to share. Kyle is saying that she's only speaking out of concern because she doesn't want it to be bad for her. She said that she wasn't bashing her or talking behind her back.
Bitch, you're lying.
You are bashing me. You are bashing me. And what I think is so nasty of Kyle is that Kyle is trying to give PK a platform. And so Dorit was correct when she told her, what you're doing is going to create more drama for me. What you're doing is creating more drama for me because you're trying to give PK a platform through Mauricio to get his side of the story out.
Bitch.
And so Kyle is saying, you need to calm down Who are you mad at? Your situation? Girl, you whack. That's so whack because Sutton did it last year. You were so whack. And so Dorit said, I'm allowed to have emotions. And Kyle is saying, I'm allowed to have emotions and opinions. Yeah, but you don't get to browbeat me or you don't get to tell me what to do.
You don't run me, bitch. You don't.
Kyle is now saying that Dorit is angry and aggressive. And Dorit says that PK gets to vent to his friends and say whatever he wants to say. Is he protecting me? And so Kyle says, I don't know what PK is doing. I only care about you, bitch.
She's a lying bitch.
You're lying because we heard Mauricio say a different story. This is my thing about it too. And this is the thing with Erika that kills me. She says in a confessional that Kyle talking to Mauricio about PK and Dorit is keeping her in the middle. But she's not saying this to Kyle. She won't say it to Kyle. Even when they were in Sedona and they went hiking, Kyle told her something to the effect of Dorit is saying the opposite of PK and that she's blocking him from seeing the kids. And Erika said, oh no. But she didn't tell Kyle, girl, you're a nasty, dirty bitch to bring that up. You're a nasty, dirty bitch to get on these cameras and say that. Kyle doesn't really have anything going on beside Alexia's wedding. She doesn't have anything going on. So she's trying to attach herself to what's going on between PK and Dorit and their storyline. She's never going to drag Mauricio because she would have access to the money.
I'm not mad at that.
Now what she's trying to do is hang on to Dorit's storyline between PK and offer PK a way to tell his story through Mauricio.
See, that's a dirty ass bitch right there.
So Kyle is saying, if I didn't like you or care, I'll just let you bury yourself. Bitch, you don't. Bitch, you don't. And then you got Bose and Erika. Bose is saying, I believe Dorit has Kyle's best interest at heart. And Erika is saying no one at the table wants anything bad to happen. Fuck up! Yes, she does. She does not have Dorit's best interest at heart because if she had Dorit's best interest at heart, she'll let Dorit do what she want to do. If you felt that she was handling things the bad way, you could have told her off camera and you could have just said it one time. You don't have to keep on, every time I talk about something, you don't have to keep on bringing it up. And you definitely don't have to keep talking to other people outside of my presence about it. You are literally on camera with Mauricio on speakerphone talking about what PK is saying. You're giving PK a platform to tell his side of the story through this show. That is not having Dorit's best interest at heart. I wouldn't give a fuck if Dorit was lying on PK.
Don't care at all.
I don't understand because
She does want something bad to happen to me if she's allowing PK to tell his story through this show. You're giving him a platform to go at me. And it's so funny because Erika has no issue calling Dorit out because at a certain point in the conversation, Dorit was trying to talk and Kyle tries to jump in and Dorit tells her to shut up. Yeah, bitch, shut up. Because this is my story and my divorce.
you can't win this one, Boopy.
And so Erika tells Dorit, come on, fuck her. This is my story. This is my divorce. This is my storyline. You don't get to jump in on this. And I think that it's so rich for Kyle to be like, well, don't say that PK is an alcoholic and don't say this. Wait, bitch, you was the one, season 1, who called your sister an alcoholic on the show.
Like what?
Boom.
Like,
That's the reason why.
And that was your blood sister.
Kathy would not ever act like this. Kathy would have my back like a real sister.
Same mama, same daddy. You called your sister an alcoholic on the show. But we supposed to give a fuck about Dorit calling her ex-husband an alcoholic? When he's leaving her with the bills, he ain't coming to see the kids, he ain't coming to do nothing? And we supposed to be worried about her calling him an alcoholic in his image? Fuck PK.
Are you fucking kidding me? This guy.
Then Amanda and Bose has this back and forth. And I agree with Amanda. I can set boundaries on how people speak to me. And the way that I can do that is I don't have to engage with them. Even though I don't think that Dorit did anything to Amanda or spoke to her any type of way, she should have stopped. But I do agree with Amanda that I can set boundaries about how people speak to me. And if you, I'm not saying that Dorit did this, but if you speak to me aggressively,
that would have fucked you up.
I don't have to engage. That is my boundary. So Amanda says in her 40 years, she never left a dinner crying. Girl, you was in the cold. And Dorit brought it up. Girl, you was in the cold. And she admitted that she was, and she said that she's an open book, that they can get into it later. That's the first time she deflected, girl, because we're talking about it now. Tilly said that the girls were kind of shocked that she was in a cult, but Tilly said that she knew she was in a cult because she Googled her, and anyone who says they don't Google people that they meet is lying. And she said that's why she believes that Meghan Markle was lying, that she didn't Google Prince Harry. I guess I'm just not around people who are famous enough to be Googled, because I've never Googled anybody. I mean, I Google people on TV and stuff like that or whatever, but in my friend circle, people that I meet, I'm trying to think of people that I've met. Yeah, I don't really Google people. To me, when you Google somebody, it's like you're looking for some dirt on them. And that's what Dorit was doing. That's what Tilly was doing. You was looking for some dirt on them. But that was pretty much what happened. Dorit doesn't really, Kyle doesn't have Dorit's best interest at heart. She does not. She doesn't have a storyline, so she's trying to piggyback on Dorit's storyline. And she's doing that by trying to offer PK up a platform so he can tell his side of the story or combat whatever Dorit is saying. And that is not a girl's girl. She's not a girl. So I don't give a damn how many daughters you got. You're not a girl's girl, Kyle.
Lying, trifling bitch.
Then we get some scenes from the women, but we got with Bose. Lael is 16 years old, and Bose bought Lael a Maserati. It was $110,200. Yet I love to see it. I am so glad that we finally have a Black woman on this show who can actually show us lifestyle. Who can actually hang with the other girls money-wise and pocket-wise, who can actually buy their kids things, who is not raising their paddles and not paying and not telling their kids that they don't deserve Gucci. And I'm a Black mom.
What kind of bullshit is that?
The kids, Black kids with money, their parents buy Gucci. The quitter just couldn't afford it.
With your raggedy, broke ass.
She just couldn't afford it. She wasn't even really wearing name brands on the show until her second season on the show. And I felt like when she was doing it, it was a way to say, oh, I can afford name brands. So she wasn't really living that lifestyle. And she wanted to, to fit in with the girls. She didn't really have a glam squad. But she wanted to bring Roberta around when she saw all of the girls was having a glam squad. So she wanted to be fabulous.
You still not that girl.
But that just wasn't her lifestyle, and that's just the truth. I'm so happy that we have a Black woman on this show on Beverly Hills, because we had Candy doing it in Atlanta, right? She was the only one. But I'm glad that we got a girl over here in Beverly Hills that can shower her daughter with the finer things in life.
Amen. Amen.
Then we got Kyle. Kyle meets with Alexia and Mauricio at the wedding venue for Alexia's wedding. Okay, so the wedding venue is still in LA, but this particular venue is giving ranch vibes, and that's what Alexia wants. Now, Mauricio is paying for the wedding. The budget is 6 figures, and Kyle said that they don't want to go higher than that. Are we really going 7 figures on the wedding? Maybe I would go 7 figures if it was my daughter, but I remember, I used to watch E! A lot growing up. And I remember them saying it was some special about the most expensive weddings. And they topped the list off with Eddie Murphy and Nicole Murphy wedding. And they said that wedding was $1 million. And so at that time, Eddie Murphy was like that nigga. You know what I'm saying? And so if their wedding was $1 million, I'm pretty sure nowadays weddings are bigger, more expensive than that. Because Beyonce's wedding ring, her first wedding ring was $5 million.
Oh, yes. Be very clear.
And so I'm pretty sure the wedding was more than that. Maybe. I don't know. But, 7 figures for a wedding? Okay? I don't know. I asked on Patreon, is there an age where the father or parents don't pay for the wedding anymore? And I saw a clip from this scene again. And from what Mauricio said, it seems like that he's ready to pay the bill whenever any of his daughters, not Farrah, let's be clear, whenever his 3 daughters, Alexia, Sophia, and Portia, whenever they get ready to get married. Okay? So now my question is, what happens if their first wedding doesn't work out? Is the family still obligated to pay for the second wedding? Because y'all told me on Patreon that it don't matter if you're 42, if that's your first wedding, your parents ought to pay for it. But what if it's their second wedding? Growth is a beautiful thing. And I was thinking about this earlier. I was thinking about, as you guys know, I lost my aunt last month. And it's so crazy because my aunt and my grandmother, they were sisters and they died almost the same day. I remember probably 3 years ago that my grandmother's funeral, my grandmother's funeral was in January, and I was catching a flight to Houston for the funeral what am I saying? Oh, I was thinking about my aunt and members of my family and the women in my family who have children, and their children have different last names. And I was thinking to myself, if I was a woman and I had children, every child that I gave birth to will have my last name. And so I know that I used to, growth is a beautiful thing, and you can be convicted, because I used to give
your broke ass.
not Garcelle, I used to give Giselle a hard time for keeping the last name Bryant when she's not married to Jamal anymore. And now it's clear to me why she keeps the Bryant last name. Because when push comes to shove, my children are going to have my last name. And if I name my children, if I have 3 children and their last name is Bryant, I'm keeping the Bryant. And so now I understand. It makes sense now. And so growth is a beautiful thing. And I was just talking about this maybe 3 weeks ago. So growth can be a beautiful thing. And I would have never thought that deep into it until I was thinking about my aunt's funeral and reading the obituary and all of the last names and stuff like that my cousins and stuff have, because they have different dads and stuff like that. Because 9 times out of 10, and from my experience, don't get mad at me, but from my experience, the women are stuck with the children. The women are stuck with the children, and they're raising the children. And so let's just say, I got one of my cousins, she has 2 sons, and they have different dads. I just couldn't imagine me having 2 children with different last names. If I was a woman, and I would like to think that if I was a woman and I was to give birth and I wasn't married, my child would have my last name. Their last name would be GABOR. All 3 of them. I won't give a damn who the daddy was. All 3 of them. And that's just the truth. So, yeah, okay. I don't know why I got that, but I'm just saying, let me get up off my soapbox, okay? Then we get Rachel, okay? Rachel meets with Kathy at Kathy's house. I didn't say this earlier, but at Erika and Dorit's birthday dinner, Rachel broke down. It was the day of her divorce, and her divorce made the headlines, and she said that she was under the impression that if she went to mediation, it wouldn't be public. I still don't understand how she thought that. It's going to always be public, baby, especially because you're Rachel Zoe. Now, some of the stuff may be sealed, right? But it's going to be public. I kind of feel like Rachel is coming for Kyle, but she's doing it like a punk puss type of way.
Oh, I see puss.
At the dinner, she went all around the world to say that she feels like Kyle and Amanda should not be judging Dorit for having a moment and telling the truth about what's going on in her marriage or her separation from PK, right? Dorit should be able to vent to her girlfriends, no matter how she handles it, and that the women need to give her grace.
100% correct.
At the table, I feel like she was addressing Amanda or just saying her name, but she didn't really say Kyle's name. Because it goes to show why Erika is not speaking up to Kyle. And it's the same thing with Rachel, because Kyle is supposed to be the head bitch in charge of the show. And while Kyle is the head bitch in charge of the show, and she's been here for so long, Kyle can leave.
Toodle-doo.
Kyle does not really serve a purpose on the show. And I feel like the show is suffering because of Kyle. I do. I feel like the show is suffering because of Kyle. I like Kyle, don't get me wrong. She's a bullshit bitch, but I do like her. But she's just not this legendary, housewife that people need. I like Kyle because I think that I've seen her or Mauricio's empire grow on the show. But she doesn't need to be here. And as Sutton said last season, this group can go on without Kyle. And so my thing is, Rachel, we would appreciate that same energy that you got for Amanda because she's a new girl and she's younger. Kyle had most of the stuff that she was saying too. And so Kyle should be called out at the table.
Take her down.
Rachel went on to say she doesn't know if this group is a safe space for her to share what she's going through with her husband because it could all be thrown in her face. And rightfully so. Right? If Dorit is being judged after being in this group, as long as she has been in the group, then surely Rachel isn't safe to share what she's going through in her divorce. Rachel said that sometimes she needs to break. She said the moments that she gets to break is, when she talks to her sister, sometimes on the telephone, or when she's in her closet surrounded by Chanel.
I know that's right. I know that's right, bitch.
Next, we got Bose. Bose and Keely are having like a Zoom meeting or a Zoom call with Dr. Duke. I love how Dr. Duke was teaching us and breaking down the process of egg retrievals So we're learning along the way of the bad news. So basically the eggs didn't take.
Oh no.
And so Bose runs off crying. And Bose running off crying is not as effective to the audience as she thinks it is. To us, it seems like, or to me, it seems like Bose just met Keely. And we just met Bose last year. So it's not like we're invested like that. And most of us are still trying to figure out what the fuck is so special about Keely that you feel the need to have his child. What the fuck is so special about Keely? I can see if it was LeBron James or Bill Gates. I can even see if it was Idris Elba. But from what's translated on TV, Bose even earns more than him. So why is it her responsibility to give this man a child? Bose is almost 50. Bose is almost 50. Her daughter is 16. And so she keeps saying, what does this mean? What does this mean? It means that Keely can have a child. You just can't carry it. You just can't carry it. And for some reason, Keely does not seem genuine to me.
I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying at all.
I don't trust him. I don't. He doesn't seem genuine to me. I'm just and to be honest with you, I'm tired of the storyline. My thing is, if Bose was to find herself pregnant by Keely, then that'll be one thing. But girl, we're not invested like that. So you running off crying, it doesn't have the effect that you think it does. So Rachel, Sutton, and Dorit, they all meet for lunch, and Dorit asks Sutton, where was she when Amanda was lying? Because Sutton didn't call Dorit out. And Sutton said, well, she definitely had an opinion. I thought that was clear. Okay? They feel like that Amanda is downplaying what she said about the way that Dorit was handling her divorce. And Amanda didn't own or apologize for what she said. And Rachel goes on to say, and see, she's coming for Kyle. She's coming for Kyle, but she's doing it like, pussy. She said she was waiting for Kyle to tell Amanda to stop putting it on her. So then we see Amanda and Kyle, they're hiking, and Amanda is saying that Dorit didn't apologize and she doesn't want to revolve.
Now you're lying. Now you're lying.
She did apologize. Dorit did apologize. She said that she apologized for asking you that on the day that your son died. But Amanda didn't own anything. Kyle said that Bose can say the same exact thing she says to Dorit, and Dorit will have a total, complete reaction. And that's true. That is true. But the difference is Bose hasn't judged her on how she was going through her divorce. And Kyle, you have done that.
You did.
And Rachel told Dorit what I think. I don't think that you think Kyle wants what's best for you and you doesn't trust her.
100% correct.
That's exactly what's going on. Because we can sit around and play all nice and shit and say, oh, no, the reason why Dorit acts the way that she reacts to Kyle is because she does not trust her. She does not think that she has her best interest at heart. She doesn't. And I don't blame Dorit for it, but you need to be honest about it. You need to be honest about it. You have the right to speak the way that you want to speak about your story and your life and your storyline in your marriage. You have the right to do that. It doesn't matter how long Kyle has been on this show. And if you get fired for it, oh fucking well. I doubt that you would, but oh fucking well. Kyle says that Dorit is completely blind to any help she wants to offer, and she's too angry right now. No, baby, she's not completely blind. She doesn't trust you. Rachel, Dorit, and Sutton are talking about the cult, and her being in the cult, and it's not a good thing, and they want her to feel free to talk about it. And so Kyle is telling Amanda, girl, we're gonna have to talk about this cult thing. I want to know more about this cult thing. And Amanda keeps saying that she would talk about it anytime. But girl, this is the second time where it's been brought up to you and you didn't talk about it. So what are you hiding? You keep saying stuff, but the words don't mean shit. Anytime, baby, we asked you about it at the dinner, you didn't say anything. You said another time, and now we asking you again, baby. It ain't nobody. It's you and Kyle out here on this hiking trail. Ain't nobody else in sight. This is the time where you can discuss what happened with you in the cult, and how did you find yourself in the cult. But you're not discussing it. But y'all, that was the episode. I'm sorry that the episode was late. But y'all, let me know, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Kyle has Dorit's best interest at heart?
No.
And most importantly, do you think that Dorit thinks that Kyle has her best interest at heart? Because when Rachel told her that, she just paused. She didn't really say, yeah, I do, or no, I don't. She just paused. All right? But thank y'all so much for clicking on the video, y'all. I really appreciate the love and support, and I will see y'all later. Adios.